Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Dana Parrott at the Nelson County Extension Office. And today we're going to make sweet potato nachos.
That's right.
A healthy alternative for all those people out there for, well, you could have this for Lent, I guess, too,
You could,
right?
that's right, yeah.
But also for all the March Madness stuff that's going to be going on.
That's right, all those basketball tournaments.
Exactly. So I can see that we have the sweet potatoes cut up, right? Okay.
Yeah, we just took 3 medium sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes, again, they're ones that you want to get that brush out and really wash them off. You can leave the peel on if you want. You can peel them if that's your choice instead. Doesn't matter. The peel is where some good fiber and nutrients are. So I say leave it on. But if you've got some picky eaters, you know, sometimes the peel is what turns them off. So you may want to peel it off.
How about the size? Is there a certain width you should
obviously, we're going to bake them, and so the thinner that they are, the faster they're going to bake, the crispier they're going to be. So about 1/4 inch is kind of what we're looking at. If they're anything bigger than that, they're still going to be a little mushy, and that's not what you want when you think of a nacho.
Right.
So we want them to be more like chips, so about 1/4 inch. Now, the trick with this, the hardest part of this recipe is actually cutting the sweet potatoes, because sweet potatoes are very thick, and so that 1/4 inch, doing very thin layers it's difficult. So make sure that an adult is the one who does that.
And a sharp knife.
And you have a very sharp knife. That's right. And you turn your fingers away and you follow all the right rules with cutting. So.
Okay.
But it's really easy to do. Spices, we're going to use spices that you typically have in your cabinet anyway. But we've cut up our sweet potatoes and we've just put them in a bowl. And we are going to use 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And you're just going to we're going to toss it all. It just kind of makes a coating. And then you're going to use 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And we'll toss it here at the end. 1 tablespoon of chili powder. If that's not up your alley, you know, don't do it. If you want to use less, if you want to use more, it's completely up to you. And then 1.5 tablespoons of paprika.
Okay, so there'll be a little spice with those two ingredients there.
And so then you're just going to take those and toss them. I'm not going to do it too much right here because we've got some prepared back here. But you just want to make sure that there's not too much spice on some, and that every sweet potato has something on it.
Yeah,
because that's just going to kind of add a flavor to it. If they don't have any flavoring on them, they're still going to be fine. They're just going to be like sweet potato chips. But this just kind of adds a little something different. So something to think about there.
Yeah, and it does mix up pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And you can mix those 4 things together and make a paste if you prefer to do that first and then mix them. But it does make a pretty thick paste, and so that's kind of hard to do. I think it's easier to do them all individually.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, you would just take those and line them out on your tray. The thing with the tray, you want to do full and then spray the full. It just makes for easier cleanup. You can just wrap the full up, throw it away. But then you would just take them and line them out like that. And you can put them as close together as you want. They will kind of shrivel up just a little bit since we're baking them, but you just line the whole tray. Now the 3 medium sweet potatoes, once you cut it up, it creates about 6 cups of sweet potatoes, and so you may need to actually use 2 trays because it is quite a bit.
And it's nice too that you can see you have different. That's right. You have different sizes of chips too, because I guess as you get to the end, they get smaller.
That's right. That's right.
The bigger in the middle.
That's right. The thickest part. So we've got ours here. Your oven is set to 425 degrees. And once you put those in the oven, put them in for 10 minutes. And then when that 10 minutes is over, you'll flip them all over. And you'll be able to tell that one side gets very crispy, and you'll flip it over. And you can see that there's still an uncooked part. So flip them all over and cook them for 10 more minutes. So 10 minutes at 425 on both sides. They're going to come out looking kind of like this. You can tell, and I hope that you all can, that it really does look like a chip.
Yeah.
And so then what we're going to do now is you would just top it really any way you want to top traditional nachos, but we are going to do a nice option here with black beans. We're just going to put it, you would put it on a nicer tray if you want, but we're going to put these back in the oven to melt the cheese.
Okay.
And so you're going to do black beans and shredded cheese. And I'm going to use my hands. My hands are clean here. On this.
So I guess you can top it however you want.
Yeah, I mean.
And if you wanted
to do beef,
yeah,
you know, or something that you traditionally put on nachos, that would be fine. The thing that I like about this, you know, a lot of people, we're going to put this in the oven just to melt the cheese for just a minute. A lot of people, when they host parties, they think about, you know, we're in the South, and so you want good food and you want traditional food. But even if you're not watching your weight or watching your cholesterol or you're not a vegetarian or you don't have diabetes. Some of your guests may, especially at parties like that. And so it's always good if you are going to be the host to have an option, have a vegetarian option, have an option for people who are trying to lose weight. That just is
courteous to your guests.
I mean, just to be nice, and even for people who aren't, it's something new, it's something different, and so it's something they may end up liking.
Exactly.
So,
and healthy is good for everybody.
That's exactly
right. No matter what your issue is.
That's exactly right. And most people, it's the reality that most people are trying to watch something, whether it be their weight, their sodium, something like that. And so it's just nice to have those options. You can still have the traditional dishes, out beside it, but have a couple of healthy options.
So these are the sweet potato nachos. If you wanted a copy of this recipe too, while we're waiting on that to melt, how do they get a copy of the recipe?
You can call the office. It's actually in our newsletter this month as well, the Dollars and Cents newsletter. It's all online, or you can get it at the American Heart Association website.
Okay.
That's where it came from. It's a heart healthy website or recipe, and so you can get it there too.
Cool.
So I'm going to take these out while you're.
And again, you can customize it however you want. So
that's exactly right.
We're making a vegetarian one, which is great. But you can also add some other things to it.
Right.
Or if you're not a big black bean fan, you can maybe do another kind of bean or something of that nature.
Right. And so for ours, we're just going to put tomatoes. You can dice up a tomato on your own, or you can use canned tomatoes. If you do use canned tomatoes, try to drain them because you don't want a lot of liquid on nachos.
So soggy nacho.
Again, this is one that you would want to put it on a nicer plate, but we're not going to for dish reasons. And then we're going to put avocado on top. It's something that if people, me too, if people are doing traditional nachos, they may have guacamole, and so this is kind of your option there. Again, it's going to be very pretty when you have it on a nice plate. I'm not going to touch it because it's hot, but it is a pretty dish. It's got all the different colors, and it's something that kids may be interested in trying because it's an orange nacho. It's something just a little different. They don't have to know that it's sweet potatoes at first. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is a healthier thing because sweet potatoes themselves give you some different nutrients that you might not get otherwise.
You're going to get some vitamin A. You're going to get that carotene, fiber, different things that you really want. So.
Super.
Yep.
So again, you can get a copy of this recipe by contacting the extension office, and they will pass that along. A healthy option for this time of year. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. It's been Gary White with Dana Parrott at the Nelson County Extension Office.